Hello everyone, my name is SOCOMJohn and welcome to the Green Up Now podcast. If you enjoy it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Gun Podcast. I got two Socom speedrunners with me, CasualSpeedRun and Linksy. And if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
All right. I'm Linksy. I am 17 years old. I've been speedrunning SOCOM for roughly about 2 years now. And once I've started, I haven't been able to get off of it. It's been a lot of fun.
Alright Casual, what about you?
I'm Casual Speedrun. I'm 27 years old, exactly 10 years older, and I've been, in a way, I guess you could say I've been doing SOCOM speedruns for 20 years, if you count, or maybe not 20 years, but like 18 years, if you count just doing the last mission really fast. But other than that, it's been about 2 years since I
Awesome.
picked up speedrunning and started with SOCOM speedrunning.
So Casual, you're actually the same age as me. So what age did you start playing
Nice.
SOCOM?
Oh man. When I was a kid, my first main console was a PS2. If I may say, my favorite console, and maybe even the best console of all time. I don't know. Who knows? How can you
Oh,
judge a thing like
definitely,
that?
definitely. I'll vouch for that.
It was SOCOM 1. It was single player. I never actually played the online. I played it, maybe I think I played it once or twice and didn't know how to. I either didn't know how to configure it or got into a lobby and it was empty or something like that. It was just a dead end, and I wasn't able to make anything happen. So I just kept playing single player and just kept going through the difficulty ranks and just playing the game. I was
Gotcha.
probably uh, maybe 8 or 9 years old, depending on when the game came out, because I played it right around then.
That sounds about right because I think I was like 7 or 8 when I started playing, and it was a SOCOM one. What about you,
Yeah.
Linksy? What game did you start out on?
So when I first I started on SOCOM 1, and it was kind of a thing that I had like it wasn't a blockbuster, but it was like a little kind of family-owned little shop that had little like movies and video games and things like that. And my dad had a PS2, and once he started going off to work and stuff like that and didn't use it as much anymore, I started to play it. And just popping into that store one time, I saw SOCOM. I was like all my life, I've been really into like army and war and that kind of stuff. So I saw the game and it just absolutely just stood out to me. Picked it up, brought it home, and damn, that must have been I was probably this was probably like 2010, so I was around 5 or 6 when I first started. My parents, thank God, they were so lenient that I was able to play a M M game at that young of an age. But um, I would go to school. I would wake up early in the morning and I would play the game. And me, obviously being younger and not knowing how the missions went and things like that, I would go into a mission, not be able to get all the way through that mission, and then I would go to school, leave my PlayStation 2 on because there's no save like in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
So I'd leave the PlayStation on for the entire day, come home and finish that mission and play it for
Oh
the rest
man,
of the night.
it's funny that
And
you say that because I used to do the same thing and just pray that my mother didn't turn it off or somebody because they would always like listen for it because they don't want to waste electricity, so they turn it off on me all the time.
yeah,
So.
that was a big thing that happened
Yeah.
to me a lot.
I
Eh,
remember doing the same thing with the Sega Genesis with the Sonic games.
oh
Like
shit.
Sonic 2 and 3, leaving that thing on for just hours and then coming back to it later.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the end game somewhere, but I can't handle it. I'd be just too, I don't know, had to go do something or hungry or whatever.
Yeah.
So Linksy, you started playing campaign, so you started playing single player before multiplayer?
I never actually had a good internet connection when I was younger. Like I had a computer, but it was hooked up to the landline, so I wasn't really able to get like it wasn't able to like the computer was able to go online, but not my PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I know what you
So
mean. I had the same issue.
yeah, so I wasn't able to. I never touched the multiplayer. I haven't even touched it to this day. As much as I really want to. Um, but yeah, I started on the on the campaign, and when I first started, it was honestly some of the most fun I've had in video games probably ever.
So what about you, Casual? Do you play much of online, or would you say like campaign got you into SOCOM more than online did?
Definitely campaign. I also still have not played any multiplayer.
What?
I've watched streams a little bit. Like I've seen your stream, I've seen Dak's stream.
Yeah.
I've seen you guys, and I've wanted to, but to be honest, I can barely even find enough time to do the routing and stuff that I want to do for speedrunning.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's
if it was like if it was already set up, like immediately ready to go, I'd be game to hop online. Like me and Twitch, another speedrunner in the SOCOM speedrun community, we were talking about potentially even doing co-op speedruns for combined assault.
That'd
We
be a
could
lot of
actually
fun.
do if we got a fourth, we could even do like Dak even approached me about me and him just doing, just a two-person combined assault. But I think you can do up to four, right?
yeah. You can get a whole party.
Yeah, so we could try to put something together and just all, get four
That'd be
people and
cool. I
give it.
mean,
I
is
still haven't done a run. I
has that
feel like a
been
bad
done? Like, is
moderator.
there times out there that have that yet, or would
I
that be a first?
I don't believe there's been a co-op
That
run yet. No.
I mean, yeah.
that'd
So
be a
definitely get
first
that done.
yeah, as far as posted speedruns go, we don't have anything of the sort. I can't recall if I could even find anything as, with just co-op speedrunning, or not speedrunning even, but just playing the campaign rather.
So where do you guys even keep
So,
track of all this stuff? Is there like a main website or?
oh yeah. It's
It's
just speedrun.com, home of all speedrunning leaderboards and all
Okay.
kinds of information.
All
yeah,
right.
It would be speedrun.com/SOCOM.
and then
Will
you get
take you
all
to
the
SOCOM.
games. You get all the games in the series.
What's your favorite game to speedrun out of all the SOCOMs?
Uh, for me, it's definitely SOCOM 1, just because that's the one that we've put the most work into at the moment. But I'd have to say the one I'm looking forward to is definitely SOCOM 2. Um, just because there's some of the missions in the game in SOCOM 2 that, like, when I've played through the game already a few times, but I haven't speedrun the game yet. So I'm really looking forward to doing SOCOM 2 and going into some of those areas. I know, as Casual was mentioned earlier, Twitch, he's been really diving into SOCOM 2 lately, and I'm excited to
Yep.
to join him eventually.
Cool. What about you, Casual? What do you think your favorite SOCOM to speedrun?
Definitely SOCOM 1.
So is
I
there a
mean,
reason to this? Because you both said SOCOM 1. There has to be a reason that you choose this over the others.
for sure. I always personally found the mechanics to be a lot cleaner, simpler. They had much higher quality assets with the media assets. They had, like, if you play the game in emulator and you turn it onto hardware mode, I've noticed changes in textures as high as 6K. That would be the vest you wear in the second mission, in the snowy mission. The bulletproof, or well, the ballistics vest that you wear, the black ballistics vest, you can see the fibers change in detail all the way up to 6K. So they had just incredible visuals. Every firearm was also not only did they have their own unique recordings for every individual firearm, the actual firearms, they also had them landing in various targets. Like, this is they would call it out in the audio recordings, right? Like, this is M60 into plywood, and then fire, 1 round or 3 rounds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then do that for every weapon, for every type of surface. They had the same thing with footsteps. Really, really well-made game, and a lot of that translated to SOCOM 2, but I feel like some of it didn't. I always found it's a bit more blurry in SOCOM 2, and also sometimes you just get memed in SOCOM 2. Like, I've actually got footage of I've got a clip from my Twitch stream when I played SOCOM 2, where I shot an enemy, right? And he was dead, right? He'd
Yeah.
already dropped his gun. He was dead for about a full second, and then he smacks me and kills me. He does
Oh
a
my
melee
Jesus.
takedown and killed me
That's
on the
big
first
reason.
mission, and I was literally like, all right, and just powered it down.
It's like, okay, I'll do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I would play
the thing.
SOCOM 1 real quick.
So what
That's
about you, Linksy? Do you think did he touch base on everything that you like about it, or anything that you like specifically?
Now, I guess the main reason is, as I said earlier, I really want to play SOCOM too, but there's a big reason for me at least is, it's the cutscenes, and it's such a small thing in speedrunning. It's actually non-existent because you're skipping through every single cutscene as fast as possible, um, just to get through the game as fast as possible, obviously. But the thing with SOCOM 2 is the cutscenes uh look a lot more it almost looks to me like SOCOM 2 came out before SOCOM 1 because
Hmm.
the cutscenes in SOCOM 2, like,
Yeah.
they look so janky. You can see the polygons and everything like that. And SOCOM 1, like, everything just looks more rounded and well polished and things like that. And
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I guess going into, like, the other SOCOMs, like going on to 3 and Combined Assault and things like that, um, going from, I don't know what they did with the gunplay, but SOCOM 1 and SOCOM 2 are pretty much the same, but the difference between 2 and 3 are absolutely insane. And you'll shoot one bullet, but it sounds like you're shooting 3 or 4, and it's something that's very annoying to me at least, is when you're trying to shoot one bullet, but it sounds like you're just shooting a bunch,
Hmm.
and I don't
Yeah.
know.
I will say
Yeah,
this though, like, as like someone who doesn't speed run whatsoever, and I barely touch campaign sometimes. It is more fun to watch SOCOM 1. I don't know why. I think like you guys said, I wasn't aware of everything, but like as Casual listed everything, it kind of made me more aware of, oh yeah, I do like it because of that. I think it is more just smooth, and everything is more accurate, and there's a lot more things you can do with your team members and all that. And I feel like they definitely took their time on the missions, compared to like SOCOM 2. It's just like I'm in love with that ship mission on SOCOM 1, like that first one that you're introduced to.
Yeah, Death
I
at
think it's
Sea.
the first level. I'm not too sure.
You're right.
All right, yeah.
Speedrunners hate this
That's
mission.
the one that just got me
Speedrunners hate
hooked.
it. Yeah, speedrunners hate it.
They hate it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the reason is because
Spend all day there. You're going
legit.
for world record time.
Yeah, so the thing is if you want to have a good time, like that mission's pretty much down to like milliseconds at this point of
Yeah.
getting the mission of beating the world record. Um but the thing is the AI for your team being absolutely terrible for just that, for one, like that mission in general, because you could tell Boomer, your second out able teammate, to go plant the bomb, and he can either go to the position and not plant the satchel. He could go there and but die on the way, or you could get Bravo to do it, and then you might not secure the barge, which is a objective that you need to complete the mission. Um, there's just so many things that can go wrong, and it's also super close quarters, and your shots have to be perfect. And there's there's also some of the hardest gun on in the game is on that mission, being the AKS-74, being the most powerful gun in the game. Uh, and if you get like triple shot by that, it's game over for you. And also, um, spawns have to be perfect with some of the areas, and it's just a very, very, very hard mission to start off with.
So,
But
all that being said, do you guys think that's the hardest mission to do regarding speedrunning? Like in all SOCOMs in general, like SOCOM 2, SOCOM 1.
Nah.
What do you think's the hardest?
I would have to give it to,
I think it's obvious.
well, for are we talking about for top runners, or are we talking about for new runners?
I'm talking about
'Cause
just in general, just like if you're gonna, you know, because if you're gonna tackle speedrunning, this map's gonna be horrible for you. It's gonna give you a tough time. I
Okay.
want to know that one.
I
I
know
would
exactly what you're gonna
say
say.
it's gonna be POW camp
Yeah.
for anyone who it's becoming that again actually now for wanting to grind for the best possible times. POW camp is pretty late in the game, so you'll already, if you're going for a top time, you'll already be on the stress of like, okay, I've got a pace, I've got a good pace. I'm through the gatekeeping like early game. We're here, we're ready to get a run through, but sometimes the game will literally just say, "Not today, Chief." Somebody in the cave won't spawn, or a POW will walk off the cliff and die, or get shot, or any manner of other things. It's definitely the hardest for the beginning speedrunner. That or Mouth of the Beast right at the second to last mission. Just because in POW camp, there's just so many things that can go wrong, and in Mouth of the Beast, at the right at the end, you've got just so many really dangerous encounters in the game. Everything's super tight quarters, and you've got every enemy there has that cannon, the AKS-74, best rifle in the game. You'll have one too, right? I mean, I even say in the beginner's tutorial video, like, pick up that AKS-74 because it is a cannon, and you'll blast through everything. But that means that they can also obviously blast through you. And so those levels will both be places where a beginning speedrunner can expect to die there, but shouldn't feel bad about it. I mean, don't feel like anyone who's new to the game or the speedrun shouldn't feel bad about anything ever, not performing up to any kind of like standard. Like it's just something you learn as you do and as you go. But definitely on POW camp and Mouth of the Beast, these are going to be trouble spots for anyone who is getting into the speedrun.
Yeah, dude, that's tough. Like, so if you die, it's over, right? So you can go like
For top times, yeah, it's over. I mean, you don't even need to die. Like
you
like
need to
Linksy
restart
said,
after that.
you can if one of your teammates just says no, sir, when you need them to plant one of their satchel charges, because you've only got one, right? But any mission that requires a satchel, you need more than one. You're gonna need two on any of those missions, right?
And those missions are Death at Sea, and I want to say Merc Staging. Am I right with that, Casual?
Yep.
Yeah, so those are the two missions where you need your team to plant a satchel.
Wow, it sounds like a stressful thing to do for a hobby.
No,
but it can be like, so I guess I'll ask this. So what's the most, rewarding thing about speedrunning?
For me, it would definitely be getting that end time and just, either beating your personal best or beating the world record time. And you get at the very end of the very last mission, you kill the enemy leader, and you have to wait for the cutscene to pop up. And the best thing, at least the best thing I like about it, is HQ will tell you, well done, whatever, blah blah blah. We'll get you out a cold one when you get back, and then when that cutscene pops up, you stop the timer, and your time pops up, and you're just looking at it, and you've beat the time or whatever the time may be, and it's it has to be finishing the run because you've passed all the, like, obviously, like Casual was saying, POW camp. You've gotten past the hard AI um for the POWs not wanting to follow you or whatever, and getting meme caves in mission 8 and mission 11. It's getting past those areas and getting a good run and finishing it is definitely probably the most rewarding part of speedrunning.
So I'll have to ask you both. You both have to give a good answer. I want to hear it. So SOCOM Remastered, SOCOM 5, or Confrontation 2. What would you rather see?
I'm surprised Confrontation 2 is in the list, to be honest.
Honestly, me too. But like every time I say something about like, oh, remastered or SOCOM 5, I got somebody in the background that like sends out a picture of Confrontation 2, and I'm like, okay, I'll send it. You know, I just gotta ask it just in case
That's
people
fair.
aren't thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good sense of humor in the speedrunning community. We're well aware that the main draw of SOCOM has been the online play. I mean, like just take a look at like the size of my Discord where we do all of the SOCOM discussion, the King Seals Discord. This has got what, like 30 people or something? And the SOCOM community Discord's got
Roughly.
like 500, right?
Yeah, we're a very, very small community.
Um, so I definitely understand why people would want like a purely online play experience, and I get that because it would also probably come out sooner, right? If they didn't have to do any writing or level design or anything like that, beside other than just designing multiplayer maps, right? However, I feel like what gaming really needs right now is SOCOM remaster or a return to form with a brand new SOCOM. And I would even, I mean, at this point, I would even take a reskin of the original, but with the same care of not only attention to detail, but also subtlety of gameplay, right? That's the real element that I feel like is missing from a lot of today's games, where I mean, a lot of video games today are you could even scarcely call a video game. They're more of like a cinematic experience. You know what I mean?
And that's
And
definitely
what
not
I
a bad thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you have like a designated area, and it's kind of just you can tell they're depending on the assets more than the story, if anything. They're depending on the
yeah.
updated graphics to kind of lead you
Am
towards something.
am I allowed to have a hot take on here?
Hot take it up, dude. Swear all if
All
you
right,
want. I
let's
don't
let's
care.
get
This is rated M.
the comment section firing up. So Resident Evil 7. What I mean about cinematic experience can be really well exemplified with a game like Resident Evil 7 because it looks good and it's spooky, scary, right? It's like makes you feel a good horror feeling, I guess, but I didn't really feel like I was playing a Resident Evil game at all. Not like the original Resident Evils, not like the modern Resident Evils. It just felt like more of a movie than a game. And I feel like SOCOM carries this I don't want to say a torch like from the past, but almost this opposite feel where you're making all of these moves. This battlefield is completely interpretive. I mean, obviously the game is meant to encourage stealthy gameplay, melee takedowns, you know, moving very slowly through missions, 30 minutes per mission sometimes. I mean, we're done with half of the speed run. We're done with half of the game in 30 minutes in the speed run.
I mean, by now it's over half, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, on emulator
Wow,
it's
30
much more
minutes
than
and you'd
that.
be done with the game?
Well, I
No,
think
no. The fastest possible, or the fastest that is on record right now, Twitch has got a 42:18 on emulator
and
4
That is
weeks
cracked
ago.
out. Oh my
I think
Yeah,
god.
Linksy's right behind.
I'm right behind, but technically the run got denied because we found out something that with emulator, if we have what are those numbers called, Casual? On like at the bottom?
Oh, it's just that I specified for the leaderboard that future emulator runs should all contain a um an overlay that's showing the frames per second, the emulator engine function, all of these metrics so that we can verify that the FPS hasn't been boosted
Yeah.
any higher than it should be or anything like that.
Because even by like 2% would mess around with it, right? Like if you run it at
Oh yeah.
102 or
Oh
101
yeah.
even, I guess.
This has happened in other speedrun communities. There have been people who have manipulated the game. I won't say who, but like in
Oh man.
yeah.
Was this
But
recent? You could say that. Is this recent?
Not particularly recent. It's in one of the Resident Evil games.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
But yeah, I don't want to go any further into it. But
I got you. Yeah, it's definitely not. Sometimes it's worth just leaving the drama buried.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Don't elevate the people who have caused the drama.
Sorry, like I was saying, with those little numbers on the bottom, I'm right behind him, and this was I think I put that up maybe about 2 months ago or something like that, and I was at 4320, I believe. So I was just right behind him, and he
They
had
denied you?
no,
Crazy.
no, casual let it slide. He's like one of the lead um admins on the casual
The
speedrun.
only active one
The
on
only
the
active one, yeah.
leaderboard.
I didn't even know that. Okay, okay. So you're basically putting this shit on your back. There you go.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, even when it came to making the SOCOM speedrun beginners tutorial,
Mhm.
the thing that I would say motivated me the most would definitely be Linksy and Twitch continuing to post SOCOM runs and kind of pushing me, right? Even though, like, I totally agree with what Linksy said before about the good feeling. You know, it feels really good when you've set a world record. Like when you know you've just done something that is better or faster, verifiably than anyone has ever done before. That's an interesting feeling, and it's definitely enjoyable, right? It feels good. It's like, wow, you know, a new frontier, and that's what I would say I enjoy about it. The new frontier feeling of it.
Yeah, it's definitely got to feel like a certain way that, like you said, that you are just like an accomplishment, you know? It's got to be a certain type of runner's high that, you know, people always
And that's
talk about, like when you accomplish something like that. I can't even imagine just saying, like, I'm the best there is at this map, this time, I got it. You know, and there's no other fucking, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's the
cool.
exact thing.
and having Twitch and Linksy continuing to push this even further, because I mean, right after I got the record, I just started routing like crazy, just started finding all the new strats, and then Twitch came along, and Linksy and Twitch started pushing each other, and we basically just pushed this thing to such a. Sorry if I'm rambling here. I'm just looking at the leaderboard right now, and it's so crazy
Oh, you're definitely not rambling.
how much it's developed in just the. It's how long has it been? What was the date of the 5507? It hasn't even been 2 years.
Uh,
February 22nd, 2021.
that was
It's
when
insane how much it's changed since then.
Well, that's
Just
definitely one of
crazy.
the reasons why I wanted to get you boys on, because I felt like, you know, I know speedrunning takes dedication. I've never done speedrunning, but I can just only imagine, like you said, because I heard you creating routes and, you know, studying maps and all this other stuff, and, you know, going 30 minutes and then all of a sudden an NPC messes up on you and then you got to restart the whole thing. So I could only imagine the stress level that it brings. So I was like, I looked at your group and I was like, these guys are dedicated SOCOMers. Like, these guys are more dedicated than anybody out there. Like, they literally study the game like it's a book, you know? And so I definitely had to get you guys on the podcast. I definitely wanted to, you know, kind of support and share your community, and hopefully more people join, you know? Get the ball rolling, and because like you said, friendly competition is what usually fuels everything. So that's what I was trying to create.
exactly, and that's the exact reason why I came to you was like Casual said, we're such a small community, and we're just looking to get more people here because, like I said, it's a great feeling when you beat the run, but it's also a great feeling that you say, like, we just had a new runner complete his or her first run, um and it's it's we all kind of came around and congratulated them, and we just want to we're just so inclusive, and we just want to get as many people in here and grow this game to what it once was, pretty much.
Yeah, 100%. I think any way that you can get a community together and get people together and have people talking, it definitely keeps the dream alive. So I love what you guys are doing. And anything else you guys want to say on the outro? Any links or any you know, websites you want to send the crowd to?
Uh, for me, I definitely would say if you are going to be looking into speedrunning, definitely check out the speedrun.com, the SOCOMJohn so you can check on times and things like that. If you want to go maybe check out my channel, I can get John to put my channel in the description as well as Casuals or whatever. But yeah, and maybe get the Discord in there as well.
Oh, 100%. I'll leave all the links down below. So anyone who wants to follow Casual or Linksy, I'll leave all the links down below. I'll leave all the websites that they're talking about or that we talked about over the course of this podcast episode. Everything will be down below. So go ahead and give it a click and make sure you follow and support these men because these boys are working. They're working hard.
Can I plug the tutorial real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're going to, if you think you've got what it takes to do SOCOM speedruns, check out the SOCOM speedrunning beginners tutorial on YouTube. It's also linked at speedrun.com/SOCOM. You'll find it in the resources.
Definitely.
Or the
yeah.
guides, rather.
Yeah, and all these videos I'll leave down below also, so everything's just nice and organized. And again, boys, I appreciate you guys coming on. 33-minute convo, and it went by like butter. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a good night.
You as well.
All right, John, thanks for having us on, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. I'd love to have some dedicated SOCOMers on.